Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. Yep. Yeah. I think the world pulls us into that sort of stuff, man. And I spent 10 years of my life just wandering, right? Like go doing drugs and hitting. I had to fight my mom's boyfriend when I was 13. I was in jail at 18, man, bankrupted 21, like craziness. I had to literally hit the rock bottom before God said, "Hey, man, you're almost done there." For you, like, what was that moment when you fully surrendered to Jesus and just felt the presence of Him breaking these chains? And how did that change your perspective moving forward? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Totally. Hmm. Okay. Sure. Mhm. Wow. Sure. Hmm. Wow. Yeah. Hmm. Wow. Hmm. Yeah. Right. Hmm. Wow. Sure. Yep. Yeah. Sure. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Wow. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Man, it's so good to have that accountability, the brotherhood that you were able to build in that program, man, and to build that trust back up with your wife. Like, what are the things that you would say was the hardest lie that you had to unlearn about yourself as you were like going through this process? Mm, yeah, 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 sure. Hmm. Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah. Hmm. Sure. Yeah. Come on, man. And I think for me, when I first gave my life to Christ, I just felt like an immense amount of shame and guilt for my past, right? Like I remember just being in my ghetto apartment in Renton, Washington, falling to my knees and just booger crying, just like so much shame and guilt that I was dealing with. Like, how did you navigate that process of going through like forgiving yourself and moving through this process? For me, that's when it did. Only because I lived 10 years prior to that, very worldly, lots of girlfriends, right? Like so, but I realized in that moment that there was things that I had to get rid of, right? Like I had to unlearn a lot of stuff and unlearn that identity that I lived with for a long time. Yeah. Sure. Mhm. Wow. Yep. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Sure. Right. Come on. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Sure. Yeah. 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 So good, man. Yeah, absolutely good motivators there to do the right thing. How is like the process and the recovery and you now being 8 years into this thing, like helping men get through this? How does that reshape your marriage, the way that you and your wife interact and things like that? Yeah. 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 Wow. Okay. For sure. Wow. Mhm. Sure. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 Come on. Hmm. Yeah. Right. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Come on, man. Wow. I love that you're like God's put you back in now a leadership position, right, to help others that are going through that same thing. I feel like the world like purposely throws so much like lustful images and sexual images on TV and through like in front of our kids. Like, how do you teach your kids about like the importance of purity in a way that's both like age appropriate, but then also impactful, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, please. Right. Wow. Yeah. Man, so good. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sure. Hmm. Mm. Mm. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Totally. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Man, what a cool example of that God's using you and your wife to do that and just be real with your kids. We're the same way. My kids are 11 and 14. Like, you know, 20% of the time, maybe we'll pull away into like, hey, we can have a private conversation, but most of the time it's real talk, like real life stuff, man. We're having that conversation in front of them. And like you said, we're not like calling them to the couch, but like, we're not going to worry about if they hear something, and we're open to answering any questions they can think of, man. Man, it's so important to be able to do that and be vulnerable with your kids and authentic around that type of stuff, man. And, my kids, they know my story, they know my past as well, and how to deal with that. And, as they're getting older, they'll probably ask more questions and things like that. And we say, hey, well, that's a little bit above your pay grade right now, right? Like, yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah. Well, what are you most excited about right now? Like, what's going on in your world, man, that just fires you up, man? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Sure. Hmm. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Hmm. Man. From a fellow Christ follower, man, I just want to say thank you for what you do, and I'm proud of you, man. And you are changing lives, and you're such a world changer, man. And so I just appreciate you coming on and being real and authentic, man, and sharing your story. It's impacting people. It's going to impact a lot of people that are listening to this show right now. And I just appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time today. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go ahead and hit stop, dude. Dude, that was so good, man. I'm excited to drop that, man. Really, really awesome stuff, man. And like I said, probably I want to say 4 or 5 weeks before it'll drop. But once it does, I'll shoot you an email with all the links there, and then it goes out to all audio formats and all video formats. So, but I'll shoot you an email that morning of, and then if I have any questions, I'll just shoot you a message on Instagram or shoot you a text, and we'll take care of it. But, dude, so appreciate you taking time out of your day. Yeah, we'll talk soon, man. Have a good weekend. Bye. All right, what's going on, guys? Hey, so I just had an awesome interview with a guy named Logan Hufford. You should go follow him on Instagram. But what a cool story that he's got, impacting stuff. God is using him to impact so many people. Make sure you check it out. And this show will drop probably in, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. But thanks for checking out the video. Just going to look at some of the questions here. He's doing something you don't need to know. Interesting. Okay. Tell me a flat circle, time is a flat circle, Interesting questions. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for checking it out.